What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today we're going to take a look and a listen to Bernie Sanders. He's going to be talking about our healthcare system. I'm also going to show you guys some graphs when it comes to how much we're paying compared to other countries when it comes to prescription medication and just healthcare in general. So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you'll get notified anytime we post a video. We do daily videos here, so by clicking the bell notification and clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. Okay, so before we get started, I just want you guys to know I am back in the U.S. I've been in the U.S. for several months now. I had some people in the comments asking me, when am I coming home? So if you guys did know, I was in Colombia for about 3 months. I've been back. This is my kitchen, so maybe this threw you off that I'm shooting videos out of my kitchen. Yes, this is my kitchen, not a kitchen in Colombia somewhere. Okay, let's go ahead. I want to play this clip first, and then we're going to talk about this.
Is that today over 60% of our people are living paycheck to paycheck. So the question that I am asking is, why in the richest country in the history of the world, why don't we have a healthcare system that works for all? Why do we pay the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs? So we have seen some achievements, but given the scope of the problems and where we should be going, nowhere near enough.
We also have one of the most innovative healthcare systems when it comes to creation of pharmaceutical drugs. You are doing this. No. So when someone hears you lay out the problems with our pharmaceutical industry, as you do in this book, it's say, but the life-saving vaccines, for example, for COVID, they were created by the United States of America. They were created by the pharmaceutical system with taxpayer help.
Sure. Of course the drug companies produce great drugs, but 1 out of 4 people in America cannot afford the drugs that their doctors prescribe. So of course we want the drug companies to do the research and development. Mm-hmm. And by the way, taxpayers of this country spend $45 billion a year through the NIH to help with that research and development, including Moderna and the vaccine.
You're talking about Moderna. Pfizer didn't take that money, but Moderna, you're sharply critical. In fact, you're calling in Moderna's CEO to testify. You're critical of his plan to quadruple the cost of the COVID vaccine. Well, can you stop him from doing that?
Well, here's the story. Taxpayers, the NIH co-authored, worked together to create the vaccine.
Right.
Taxpayers put billions of dollars into the development of the vaccine, guaranteed sales for the vaccine.
As they did with many other companies.
Yeah, all right. And then what happens after the government stockpile of the vaccine expires? These guys say, well, we're going to quadruple the price of the vaccine. And by the way, in the last 2 years, the CEO made $5 billion and his other guys made billions of dollars. Is that really what should be happening? Truth is, pharmaceutical industry is enormously greedy, charging us outrageously, uncontrollably high prices. We have got to deal with that. As chairman of the relevant committee, I intend to do what I can.
Okay, so he's talking about the pharmaceutical companies. And one thing I want to focus on, too, is mainstream media. And I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. When it comes to mainstream media, are they hard enough on pharmaceutical companies? Because if you notice, anytime you're watching TV, you see these commercials come on, prescription medication, you should try this or try that, or ask your doctor about this. So these pharmaceutical companies are investing a lot of money in mainstream media. So is the mainstream media, are they going after these pharmaceutical companies like they should? I want you guys to let me know in the comments below how you feel about this. And do you think that the mainstream media is actually going after these pharmaceutical companies? Okay, so now I want to compare the cost of prescription medication in the U.S. compared to other countries. And so how do prescription drug costs in the United States compare to other countries? And this is Health System Tracker. So they did this study, and this study was from 2004 to 2019. Now, I want you to take a look, and you probably can't see this. I can't really zoom too much in. It will distort everything. But if you can see, back in 2004, it was $668. That was the average cost when it came to prescription medication, and you just see it going up, and it continues to rise. Now, this green line, this is the United States. This blue line, this is comparable countries on average. Okay, that's the blue line here. So you see the difference here, a huge difference. And let me zoom out just a little bit more, and you can see, and you almost see this line at the bottom, the blue line, is almost a flat line. And the line for the U.S. just continues to rise. And you have these little upticks here. 2013, you saw this big jump. And then 2015, it started to rise a little bit. And then it took another big jump in 2019. So you're seeing what's going on when it comes to prescription medication in the U.S. Now, going down even further and looking at some more information, when you compare the United States to some of these other countries here, you see the fact that in the United States, the purple here, this is covered by your private insurance and government health program. So that would include Medicare. So that's what they're covering, $963. And what the actual patient is covering, the out-of-pocket for the patient, is $164. That's in the United States. Compare that to Germany, $770. That's what the private insurance companies are paying. And then in Germany, they're only paying $55 on average out-of-pocket costs. So and we can look at all the other states here. Canada, same thing, $590. They're paying a little bit more out-of-pocket, $147. Japan, $589. That's what the private insurance companies are paying. And then $94 out of pocket. And in Japan, as an expat, so as an American living in Japan, you can qualify for free healthcare. And so I thought that was interesting because in the U.S., we have Medicare. That's the only program that is considered free, even though you still have to pay for certain portions. But when it comes to Japan, they have universal healthcare. Just like a lot of other developed countries, they have universal healthcare. In the U.S., we haven't gotten to that point yet. Okay, and I'm not talking about someone 65 or older. I'm talking about anyone. So if, let's say, you retire when you're 50 or you're 55 and you move to Japan, you can qualify for free health coverage. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue here. Switzerland, same thing, $524 here, out of pocket $89. And so on down the list. So I just wanted to show you there's a huge discrepancy when it comes to how much we're paying in the U.S. compared to other countries. Another graph I want to show you really quickly, and this is just showing you a percentage of how much more we pay than other countries. So in the U.S. pays 70% more than the same prescription medication that you would purchase in Mexico. 70% more. In Canada, 118% more. That's what we're paying, 118% more than what they pay in Canada for this same prescription medication. Germany, 125%. The UK, 155%. France, 158%. South Korea, 205%. Slovakia, 241%. Turkey, 679%. And so you can see this is a huge problem. These same pharmaceutical companies are charging all these other countries less for the same prescription medication that we're buying, but we're paying a lot more. And in some cases, like when we looked at Turkey, that was ridiculous, 600 and something percent when it comes to paying for prescription medication. Now, I know I live in Southern California, and this has been known, and people do this all the time. They go down to Mexico, they go down to Tijuana, and get prescription medication down there because it's cheaper. And I know some people are saying, I just pay a copay when it comes to my prescription medication, or I pay very little when it comes to my prescription medication. But you have to look at the overall cost. You can't just look at what you're paying. You have to actually look at what the private insurance companies are paying. You have to look at what Medicare is paying, because that's where you can save money. So when it comes down to a private insurance, if they're paying a hefty price for these prescription medication, they're going to pass that cost on to you. So when you're paying your premium, that's where they get you. So you might only be paying $15 for prescription medication. That's your portion. However, when you pay your premium, that's when you're paying $1,000 a month or whatever you're paying for your insurance. That's where you lose out. That's where you're putting a lot of money into your healthcare coverage when you don't have to put that much in there because the pharmaceutical companies are overcharging you, basically. And then when we're looking at Medicare, and this is a big thing when it comes to Medicare, we've been talking about we're in a deficit. We need to pay down a deficit. This is one way that you can do it. You can bring to light the fact that these pharmaceutical companies are overcharging us when it comes to prescription medication. Now, I understand we live in a capitalist society. I get that. And you should be able to charge whatever you want. But when it comes to situations like this stuff is out of our control. I don't have an option when it comes to medication, prescription medication. Some of this stuff you actually need, and there are no options on the table. And the sad fact is that pharmaceutical companies know they can charge you more, and that's why they're charging you more. That's it. Bottom line. When it comes to overcharging Medicare, of course, the pharmaceutical companies are going to do that. And so that's why it's good now that at least starting in 2026, you will be able to negotiate prices, or at least the federal government will be able to negotiate prices when it comes to Medicare, but Medicare only. I think this should be implemented across the board. So the insurance companies should be able to negotiate these prices with these pharmaceutical companies, directly negotiate prices, because right now you have a middleman, and that middleman is taking a piece of the pie, and that's why it's costing a lot more. And I've talked about this in the past when it comes to how we get the prices from these pharmaceutical companies, and that middleman is in between. They're the ones that are pushing certain medications to the insurance companies, but that middleman is getting a piece of what the pharmaceutical company is charging, basically. And the pharmaceutical companies, in a lot of cases, they will charge more because they know that middleman is in there. So the pharmaceutical company wants to maximize their profits, and so they have to pass that middleman cost on to the consumer ultimately. So it's just very interesting when you're looking at this stuff, and I don't think we're getting the whole story when it comes to pharmaceutical medications and things like that. I don't think the mainstream media is really going after these pharmaceutical companies like they should be going after them. And the main reason for that is money. These pharmaceutical companies are sponsoring a lot of the mainstream media that we're watching today. You see all the ads that are coming out, and the mainstream media doesn't want to go after the pharmaceutical companies because the pharmaceutical companies might stop placing ads on their shows, and that means less revenue for the mainstream media outlets. So I want to know what you guys think about all this. So let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.